What's good? What's good, YouTube? Man versus mankind versus human. DNA wars. I go by the name Pushy Push if you haven't heard of me. Down below is my TikTok. Definitely check that out at pushy.push. Also, check out and subscribe right here to my YouTube at Pushy Push. But let's get into this. This picture right here is a summary. It's a summary of the whole video. If I had to say, is there one picture that sums this whole video up? So what I'm looking at in this video is what is the difference between man, mankind, and human, even humankind? Is there any difference between the term? Like the only thing that is similar is the word man, but is there anything that makes them separate, or is it just a word that we use? So when I look at this picture right here, I feel like I'm seeing man. From my understanding, man is a male and female at the same time. Like, in order to have a man, you have to have two beings together in order to make that man. So a male and a female is a man. And I'll show you where I get the idea from. So right here in Genesis, chapter 127, it says, so God created man in his own image. It says, in the image of God created he him. You see the semicolon right here, this little piece right here. You're always supposed to pause right there. You're not actually supposed to keep reading like a run-on sentence. And then it says, male and female created he him. So when I look at this, so God created man. Man is the male and the female. What did he create? He created a male and a female. So God created male and female in his own image. And then it says, in the image of God created he him. This for me is telling me that the male was made to look like the creator, or more like the creator, even though the male and the female was created at the same time. So in the image of God created he. Who is the he? The male. Who is the him? The God. So in the image of God created he. He created the male to look like him. But you see the little dot and the little apostrophe right there. That's the pause this. And for you to understand, male and female created he them. So he created male and female at the same time. Man is male and female, and they were created at the same time. And the male looks more like this creator, even though he was created with the female at the same time. And this is very important as we go further to know what a man is. That definition of understanding that it's a male and a female is going to be very interesting and a strong tool. So let's go to this next one. It says, then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And what stands out to me is the us. Let us make man. The us is plural. That's more than one. Let us make male and female in our image. Remember, a man, we've been told to look at it like a single male. That's not what it is. Let us, multiple of us, make a male and female in our image after our likeness. If you go back, it says, so God created man in his own image. So that's singular, own image. When you get here, let us, plural, make male and female in our image. So every time that you see man, you should be thinking male and female, not the single male. And this is very important as you go further. A lot of people misinterpret the early parts of the Bible, but I agree, just like this author, that there is two creations inside of the Bible. The male and the female was created first. And the interesting part is you don't know if it was thousands of years or millions of years before Adam was created. But I fall in this category that I believe that there's two creations and they're not at the same time. So if we look at it, Adam was supposed to be created out of dirt. So he doesn't have a mother, he doesn't have a father, like through traditional means of two people mating and then their child being birthed into the world. Adam is born solely from the science, I believe. So I know it says from the dirt, but to me, there's science, all that inside of that right there. So I believe that he is a science project. I even go this further. For male and female to be created by even a single creator, your and myself is also some form of a science project. But the difference is the male actually looks like that which created him, and the female, it was made with the male at the same time. So the male nor the female has power over each other. They're actually equal. It says right here, for Adam was formed first and then Eve. Well, you got to look at it like this. Adam, he was born or formed first after male and female. So he's actually third, and Eve is fourth. Or if male and female is made at the same time, then you would say that Adam is second and Eve is third. And that's another interesting piece right there, that Adam was formed first. The creators in Genesis 1:26, Adam is their creation. They did not make male and female at the same time. They made a male first. This is what this is telling you. Let's go back. Let us, many of us, make male and female in our image after our likeness. When they went to do this task, they made the male first. And then from the male, they made their female. And once they had their male and female, they had their version of man. So the question is what kind of man? So right here is an example of Adam. Is Adam able to truly have a baby? Well, when you're looking at this picture right here, this is a comedy. He can't have it through traditional means. So the scriptures talk about taking it from his rib. But nevertheless, this would be your Adam, created first from the creators of the let us, the many gods, make male and female. So when they made their male, they made him first. And then from that male, they made their female. It says right here, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. You see the two dots right here? You're always supposed to pause right here and basically review the top before you add the second piece. So a lot of the Bible is in codexes. So this is like a codex. They take a top part and then match it up with another piece from other books. So this is like two codexes right here. But it says, and Adam said, this is, you see that T right there between is and now. That T, the definition is down below. At last, this one. So you got to add at last this one where that T is. So it goes like this. And Adam said, this is at last this one, now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Well, what's that saying? That's saying that Adam had been trying over and over to have a baby. It says, this is, see that T, at last, this one, now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. Adam, the creator of the us, the ones who are Genesis 1:26, Adam, their creation, they have been trying to have a baby. So we're talking about Adam is conscious of what he's here to do. It's not like someone being taken advantage of. He's saying that he's like happy he's finally had one. And then it goes below and it says, she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. And this is what makes Adam and Eve mankind, because male and female was created together. Adam was created by himself. Then from the wound of him, his mate was created, and in which, they would have children. So Adam isn't a full man, nor is Eve a full, like, she's not even a female. She's a woman. The animals later on in the book are called like male and female, but she's not. She's a womb man because she was born from the womb of a man. So is she man? Is Adam and Eve man, male and female, or is they mankind? And mankind would be male and woman, man and woman. Man and woman is mankind. Male and female is man. You see what I'm saying? We go back right here. God created man in his own image. God created male and female in his own image. Below it says, male and female created he them. So the male and female is the first creation. But when you get here, you have where Adam is birthed Eve. So this is not like the first creation. Eve is, she's a kind. Adam is a kind. So this is man because it is like two different sects, but the nature of their creation makes them a mankind. Let's look at Noah a little bit to kind of understand this. Um, this is so interesting right here. It says, "And now, my father, hear me. Unto Lamech, my son, there has been born a son, the likes of whom there is none." It says, "And his nature is not like man's nature." Okay, we've been talking about man. Man is male and female. So, what is Noah like if he's not like man's nature? If he's not like the original man's nature, Flip back. What is he like? It says right here, "And his nature is not like man's nature, not like the original male and female." It says, "And the color of his body is whiter than snow, redder than the bloom of rose, and his hair is whiter than white wool." So Noah is an albino. Noah is an albino. So he's not quite like man. He's not like man's nature. Well, if Noah is an albino, then that means what was man's nature before Noah? And that will show you that the world was pretty much melanin. And the birth of, or the creation of Adam and Eve, to me, started the gene that caused the world to start going into different color shades. You know, uh, this is the beginning of it right here. And Noah is infected by this recessive gene that has now made him albino. It's just wild. It says, "And he is in his nature is not like man's nature, the original male and female." This right here is Jesus's genealogy right here. If you look, it says Adam, Noah, Abraham, David, all the way to Jesus. Well, Adam was a lab baby, and Eve was born from Adam. So Adam don't have a mother and don't have a father, and he is not the original creation. Um, so Adam and Eve have this gene inside of them. Possibly Seth and everybody going down to Lamech was all melanated. And then when you get to Noah, that's when the gene changed right there. So now you have Noah being, the albino person. But the thing to realize is Adam's whole family line has that gene in them that can turn you albino, that can turn you into something else. Basically, Adam's whole family line is mankind. Adam's family is not man, the original male and female. Adam's family is not the original male and female. That means even Jesus himself is mankind. This is descendant from people who have the same sex, like man, male and female, but they themselves aren't necessarily that in particular nature of man. So Adam's family right here all have a gene that is different than the rest of the world, all the way down to the Messiah itself. This right here is your Adam and Eve on a coin. So, like a 16th century coin. And they know this right here. The elite during the 1600s knew about this DNA situation between the two. And they know that they descend from this portion of the DNA. And what makes this so bad, is when the world was destroyed, it seemed that all of original man, or a large portion of original man, was destroyed, and in another video I talk about, like, why would Noah be saved over the original man? Like, the original man has the original DNA, and yet Noah is being saved and he has the recessive gene. So you got to understand that the gods inside of the Bible are not favorable to every portion of the book. There's multiple gods inside of this book right here. This coin, if you look, there's a crown, there's two hands, they're forming a DNA. And if you look on the pillars on the left and right, there's tails coming out. So that's letting you know that there is definitely some splicing of possibly animals even inside by this time right here. Okay. So man is male and female. Mankind is Adam and Eve. What makes Adam and Eve mankind is because they are the same sex as a male and a female, but the nature of their birth and creation makes them different than a normal male and female. So now they are labeled mankind. What is a human? You have man, mankind. What is a human? So, in order to understand that, we had to go to the Bellington Dictionary, 1948 edition right here. So it says right here to the left, from Bellington's Law Dictionary, 1948 edition, human being is defined as the following: sea monster, sea monster. From the same dictionary, monster is defined a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. Did you hear that right there? A human being is basically someone who has the lower parts resembling the like a lower animal part, but in some parts resembling a lower animal. What does that look like? A man to be resembling a lower animal. What is that? When you think about this, man, male and female, was normal. Mankind, the DNA was changed. Human, now it seems like animal has been applied. It says a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. Is this a human being? A human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. Is this a human being right here? This is a werewolf or a wolf man. This is what this is right here. So this is a human. A human is someone who is man and animal. So here we go with the word, because it's two words. Hugh means monster man, basically. The man is male and female. So if you look right here on the left, it says the virgin. So that's a female on the left. And on the right, that's a male right there. So you have sex that is the same, but these two are not man. They're not, well, they're not male and female by definition. They're actually man and woman. And they have the DNA of Eve. That DNA of Eve, which it stands out, is because it broke the melanin. When they were able to break the melanin, they were able to add other DNAs inside. So they decided to add animal DNA inside. So now you have a male and then you have a woman. And because they are different sexes, you can say that they are man. So this is a human. A human is a half animal man. A mankind is someone who has the sex of the male and female, but isn't born in the nature of the male and female. And these right here are not born in the nature of the male and female of man, but they have the two sex like them. So they are labeled man, a human, a animal man. We're going right here. This is that example. This is a human. You see the male and female underneath the crown? Doesn't matter which side you're looking from. What you're looking at is a male and female who has animal DNA in them. In particular, um, it could be reptilian or some type of snake or something like that. But it is that a human is someone who has animal and man's DNA mixed into each other. Right here is the biggest piece right here, because if you didn't had man, which is male and female, you had mankind, which is two people with the same sex but not created in the same nature, which caused an albino person to be born. And then you have a human who comes out of the mankind, which is half animal, half man. And now you're sitting with this part right here, which is cloning. And cloning is the mixture of it all together in one piece, giving you eternal life all at the same time. So let's look at this a little bit. Do you see the dog man to the left? Okay, you see his hands. That's the hands of a man. See his feet. That's the hands, like the feet of a man. He has the priestly robe on, but he has a dog face. What do you think they're trying to say? When you look at this, what's the difference between a werewolf and a dog man? What is the difference? Well, I know that dogs come from wolves. So the wolf is first. But did you see that this werewolf is dressed up in clothes? So what does that mean when you're looking at this dog? Because to me, the dog and the werewolf is the same. And what that's showing you is that there are humans in the church. They are humans in the church. Let's go back to the definition of human. It says right here, human being is defined as following. See monster. From the same dictionary, monster is defined a human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. So a human being is a half man, male and female, or man and woman, and animal. This is a human right here. This is a wolf man, a dog man, a wolf woman, a dog woman. On here, that's what you're seeing. That is a wolf man. Okay. Now, today they don't look like that. We're talking about people that have this DNA that is sitting in this power right here. And when you look to the right, this is the whole cloning process. So you got to understand what they did. They altered original man's DNA, made their own species, um, added on to their species to make a humankind, and now we're sitting like I said, a humankind. Cloning is a humankind. Like if you have multiple animal in you, and then your body is created also. Like look on the right, you see the little down below the two people and the little tube below the bird lady. Okay, that's cloning. You see the kid to the left with one shade darker and one shade light. That's what happened to Noah. So all that DNA, and then they turn around and create cloning. What cloning does in this situation, you go in, maybe a sick person, and then you come back out with your body healed, but the DNA inside will be mixed with all these animals inside of your DNA. Your spirit won't be there, but your memory will be uploaded. So you will come back, with a preloaded memory and the DNA inside of you, totally not the DNA from your original body. And this is was the problem even with Michael Jackson is I've always wondered, like, did he die in 79? I always wondered, was Thriller really telling you about him being cloned and coming back to life. You know, I feel like this whole piece right here is telling you about animal DNA, animal fusion, and then rebirth. Like, I think the whole secret, even when it comes to the heaven and hell, and if I was to be honest with you, if it's true that Jesus is descendant of Adam, I mean, what's to stop Jesus from coming back as a clone? So the spirit ain't real, but the memory is like real, but the DNA in him is different. The DNA is this creature right here. This right here is honestly, it's in the church. It's running the church. It looks like a man. That's what Michael Jackson is trying to tell you. It looks like a man, but you have humans who run the world. And you would say, well, how do you know you got humans who run the world? Well, here's one thing. Your conqueror is going to make you praising. Your conqueror is going to make you praising. So you're going to call yourself what he is. So he will say, we're all humanity. And if you don't know what a human is, that is an animal, man, you're going to say, yes, we're all humanity. Well, these people were so crafty that they gave themselves human rights. Think about that. The animal man gave himself human rights. So you can't even go and attack the animal man because you gave him rights to exist. That's how deep this is right here. We live in a world where the DNA has been altered and the recessive gene is now in power. This is the reason why you can see somebody say depopulate the world of 8 billion people or however many billion people. And you'll be like, man, he cannot be like the rest of us and talk like that. Well, he isn't. His DNA is different and it's quite possibly he's cloned. We are living in a world where you have someone who's possibly been cloned, say the last 3, 4, 500 years, and you'll be told that's a vampire. And the truth of the matter is that technology has always existed. You go in regular, maybe sick from some disease, they put that DNA inside of you. Your spirit is removed, but your memory is kept, and then you're reborn, and it's perpetual. So this right here, this dog man, that's the church. That's what's running the church. And from there, they run the whole world. And we say human and we say human rights. And we don't know this is what a human is. A human being by birth, but in some part resembling a lower animal. They are real. Nancy Pelosi just came out and said she knows she's a cold-blooded reptilian. So keep that in mind right there, family. We're gonna get on to the next one. I know my videos can definitely be a challenge. None of this is meant to be racist or anything. I'm only looking at history. That's all I do, and I compare it. I do not believe that I'm forced to agree with history because it's written. If it's on a 300-year-old book, what makes you think people didn't lie 300 years ago? So I don't feel like I'm obligated to agree on any of the writings. I'm here to challenge it all, even to the tiny word man, mankind, and human. They are not the same. They're not the same. But until the next time, family, definitely drop a like and subscribe. And thank you.